Hey, everybody, back again. Yeah, I got something on my mind. I got something on my mind, something I got to get off my chest. Uh, I think I know the phone rang during the last video. Interestingly enough, it was a gentleman who attended the meeting today uh, with with the men that went down there on my behalf and on your behalf. Um, yeah, one of the men that was at that meeting today was the one who called, and so we had some, shall we say, spirited conversation. Um, and his fellow's name, he goes by Roger. So I I want to talk about some of the things that we talked about because words are important, teaching is important, and understanding is important. And apparently, I made a mistake. Maybe. I've been saying all men are created equal. Raj is telling me that's not true. And in one way, I can agree with that. And in another way, I'm not so easily agreeable. Now, I've been talking about Constitution and your rights. And in the constitutions, your state's constitutions, where your rights are, they're also in the federal constitution because all the states' constitutions have been ratified uh, into the federal constitution. So I'm going to read a section from a state constitution, and Raj, it doesn't matter what state the article and section come from, and let's see if this will explain it for you. Because I know you just wanted to keep on talking and talking and talking. Anytime I had something to say, you just want to talk over me. You interrupt me over and over and over and argue. So, Section 13, no law shall be enacted granting to any citizen, class of citizens, or corporation other than municipal privileges or immunities, which, upon the same terms, shall not equally belong to all citizens or corporations. So, you see, I think Raj was trying to tell me that I have to stick in the Michigan Constitution and that I don't have a right to the court. I think that's what he was trying to tell me. And, but he kept talking over me so much, it was really hard to understand where he was going with some of his points. And I want to make it clear, trust no man. Don't trust me. Trust God. Research, investigate, so that you know that you know. That is the best way. So I'm going to do my best to give you good information all the time. So I say all men are created equal. Well, in the ability to run a 600-yard dash, that's not so. With the ability to see and hear, thought process, height, weight, all those kind of things. Nah, not equal. Are we equal as brothers and sisters of God? I'm asking, I'm not telling, I'm asking. Do we have equal protections? Do we have equal risks? There's a lot of things that are equal when it comes to our constitutions and our rights. So Raj wants to tell me that my paperwork is nothing. It's worthless. And he told me that. Let me see if I get this straight now, because I can't look at the computer because I'm looking at it. In other words, I can't dig in there for the document I want. So whether I said Declaration of Right or Bills of Right, Raj is telling me that don't exist in the Michigan Constitution. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I get to the computer, I open it up, I pull up the Michigan Constitution that I have in there, and it says exactly what I said it says. Raj would, I think, would trying to convince me that I can't use that Constitution. But I know better. You see, nothing guaranteed by our forefathers with regards to our rights, our immunities, our franchises, and privileges can be abridged. Now, moving forward, they can be made better, they can be made stronger, but they cannot be diminished. And as I've been studying these constitutions, I got questions in my head, because I'm reading things that I think our forefathers would not have put in there. And I know that they're amendments. And I know that if it is repugnant, it must be abrogated. If it is not in line, if it diminishes in any way, it's got to go. Now, funny thing is, I said abrogated. Raj says, "You like that word, don't you?" It's like, what does it matter whether or not I like the word? You see, all Raj did was just keep like coming at me with all this nonsense. I don't know what he was trying to do. See if he'd get me rattled. See if he knows more than me. But I invited Raj to come on live. Now, after I corrected Raj that my paperwork was correct, he asked me about another Michigan Constitution. And I replied, I don't give a, and I said the SHI, the word, and it ends with a T. Oh boy, did I get myself in a hornet's nest with that, right? Now, what was I saying? What I was saying is that it just don't matter to me because I'm using this Constitution. I like to use the older versions of the Constitutions when I am looking out for you. That's right. We want to give you the most power, the most strength, make you the safest, securest, healthiest, happiest, freest man you can be, male or female. So, It's easy to take somebody's words and twist them and then just argue, argue, argue. So a little bit later, after I corrected Raj, he said, he asked me again. He just flat out said, "Do you care about the specific Constitution?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Oh, so you lied." Well, okay, Raj, have it your way. In my mind, I wasn't lying. It's just that with regards to protecting my fellow brothers and sisters, I want to provide the strongest protection. And it's just my mindset that I look in the original or the oldest that's available to me when I'm putting my paperwork together. Now, Raj wants me to believe I can't do that, but I know that I can, and I do. I asked him to show me in the Constitution where it says I can't do that. But then he wants to know, did I publicize my court cases? Well, wait a minute, Raj, what are you talking about? You told me I didn't have a court case. There is no court for me. So what are you asking me if I publicized it for? And why would I publicize? I asked Raj, show me in the Constitution where it says I got to publicize my case. And he just keeps coming back to, you lied, you lied, you lied. Like, Raj, I explained it to you. I explained it to you over and over. Even every time you're talking over me while I'm talking to you, sir. So I invited Raj to come on live so that he could explain to you that you can only use your state's constitution with your paperwork. Really, he's older than me. I think he's going to be 71. And so, Raj, I really would like you to come on and explain to me and the world how a Michigan resident is restricted to the Michigan Constitution and cannot look back, must use a current or most recent Constitution. I want you to come on and explain that, Raj. Now, Raj responded, would I tell everyone that I lied? So I don't need Raj to come on for that. If I misspoke or I was misunderstood by anybody, I apologize. If I ever make a mistake, and I will, because I'm a man, I'm not God. Only God is perfect. So trust no man, trust God. Now, Raj, this invitation is still open for you, sir, if you want to come on. I also want you to explain how Section 13 says no law shall be enacted granting to any citizen, class of citizens, or corporation other than municipal. All right, so here, municipal is separated. What's municipal? Is that your your government? What is that? No law shall be enacted granting to any citizen, comma, class of citizens, or corporation other than municipal, comma, privileges with an S, or immunities with an S, which, comma, upon the same terms, comma, shall not equally belong to all citizens or corporations. Now, Sometimes I've said, my court. Well, is that an incorrect statement or not? It all depends on what is the my context. The So am I saying I have my own court? It's mine, just mine? No, I'm not. I'm one of the people. So I will do a better job, Raj, on that. You didn't hurt me there, brother. And I thank you. I'm very conscious about the words I use and how I use them, when I use them, and where I use them. So I'm trying to be a little bit more clear about exactly. And I also want to make it very clear to everybody, trust no man. A lot of times I say things and people hear something completely different. It's just blows my mind. Uh I mean really strangely different. Uh but hey, that's what we deal with. So I needed to make that correction and clarification, clarifications. Raj, I hope I hope I'm doing good for you, sir, and the people, and I appreciate it. I do, and I'm sincere. I really do hope that I'm doing good because we do have free speech. However, if we make fools of ourselves in public, we do suffer that consequence. So since I'm standing here and we're uh, we're chatting about what does nine say? What state is it in? Look, it doesn't matter. It's written down. It's Constitution, state Constitution. It is. I'll tell you what state. See, this is page 3. I got 48 states now, all in a Word document, where I can click the find feature, and over there it'll pop up a little screen and type in a word. Say if I'm interested in the word prosecute or prosecutor or prosecuting. Um, it'll let me know where it's at if the system's working right. Uh, what does 9 say? Irrevocable grants of privileges, franchises, or immunities. Section 9. No law granting irrevocably any privilege, franchise, or immunity shall be enacted. Now, if I understand that correctly, Raj, that means that the original writings in the love letters from our forefathers, otherwise known as our state's constitutions, it cannot be diminished, it cannot be abridged. And yet, when I cite from that Constitution and I properly state whether it's a Bill of Right or a Declaration of Right, you got the opinion that I can't do that. And you're advising Sheriff Dar. This concerns me greatly, sir, because I care about Sheriff Dar. I do very much. And I care about you, Raj. I do. Sincerely, sir. I care about all the people. So I'm really trying my best to get things right for everybody. Now, if I was to take Raj's teachings, I would never know I could prosecute my own case. And I would never know that we, the people, have a right to the courts. What court? Any court. Oh. So we see a building and it says court. We're good? Could be. Maybe not if it's a Hollywood set. However, you see, you can hold court anywhere. You do not need a building. You can hold court through the mail. Yes, you can. And we do. All right, so prove it, Ethan. Text of Section 10, right to prosecute civil cause. That no person shall be. Oh, wait a minute, Ethan. You can't use the word person. What? Oh, come on. See, a lot of bad teachings. Because, what the bar did was they changed the definition for their administrative process. To further enslave you. While the bar also influences the education system to dumb us down. That's my opinion. And I do believe it's quite factual, and I do believe that I prove it quite well. So let's read that again. Right to prosecute civil cause. But before we do, let's go back here. No law shall be enacted granting to any citizen, class of citizens, or corporation other than municipal privileges with an S, immunities with an S, not a privilege, not a immunity, privileges or immunities. So since I put that narrative in there, I'm going to back up so we read this that's got flow. No law shall be enacted granting to any citizen, comma, class of citizens, comma, or corporation other than municipal, comma, privileges or immunities which, comma, upon the same terms, comma, shall not equally belong to all citizens or corporations. So when I was saying all men are born equal, in my head, I'm talking about constitutions. I'm talking about God's eyes. And apparently I need to make that clear. So I apologize for any misunderstanding, because it's very important that we get all this stuff right. These are just some of my favorite pages. No law shall be enacted in this state limiting the amount of damages to be recovered for causing the death or injury of any person. Remember that. No law shall be enacted in this state limiting the amount of damages to be recovered for causing the death or injury of any person. That kind of sounds like a right to me. But Raj thinks if you're in Michigan, you got to use the Michigan Constitution. You can't use another Constitution. I asked Raj to come on here and I'd prove him wrong. He asked, would I tell that I lied? I believe I'll read it verbatim if I need to. I'll read it verbatim if I need to, but there's no reason why I should need to. I might need to look at it though, just to help me recover. Come on, fat fingers. Little numbers, one or the other. All right, here we go. So you know what? I just read this to you because this is really important. This is the man who's advising Sheriff Dar. After conversation, part of the conversation I explained, I sent this message. You can come on live with me and let the world know how you think. And Raj writes, will you on live world admit you said, I don't give a, and then that word that starts with S, ends with T, about the 1963 construction? Oh, question mark. Raj, I didn't say nothing about the construction. You know, words are really important. Construction. Is Raj testing me? Are you testing me, Raj? That's all right. A lot of people have. So I said yes and explain why I said it. And then I say, you can explain how we don't have equal rights. I will prove you wrong. Raj says, thank you. I said, let me know. We must firstly agree not to talk over the other. And then I sent another message without a response yet from Raj. And I said, hey, Raj, I was doing a live YouTube when you called. I dedicated it to Sheriff Dar Leaf. It is intended to educate the people as well as the sheriff. I hope the sheriff will honor his oath and be a constitutional sheriff. It is his decision to make. And then I got a response from Raj, and I'm based on the phrase, I believe he's responding to the message I sent above that one, which was, let me know, we must firstly agree not to talk over the other. And then Raj says, you have no control over me, exclamation mark. Well, come on, Raj. I know I don't have any control over you. So I answered him back. I said, correct, you are. It is my condition of mutual respect in order to have you as a guest. You are a free man with franchise on liberty. So, Raj, I love you. I do. And I thank you for getting my brain engaged, helping me to restore my brain to pre-brainwashed capacity so that I am completely unslaved. Completely unslaved. All right. What else do we want to take a look at here? Let's read this. This is Georgia. Right to courts. No person shall be deprived the right to prosecute or defend, comma, either in person or by an attorney, that person's own cause in any of the courts of this state. That's really similar to this one, that no person shall be barred from prosecuting or defending before any tribunal in the state by himself or counsel any civil cause to which he is a party. You see, I found this kind of language in 4 of the states. Prosecution by information. Offenses heretofore required to be prosecuted by indictment may be prosecuted by information or by indictment as shall be prescribed by law. And this looks like an amendment. It does. It looks like an amendment. It's got that little character after it. I wonder how that was amended. Was that abridged? Or did that make that more powerful for us? I don't know. But it's good as it is. Now, this says military power subordinate to civil power. The military shall be in strict subordination to the civil power. So, what's going on? You give visual, measurable, repeatable results for human health that's beneficial, that science gave up on and put in writing. It's impossible. The military shall be in strict subordination to the civil power. Military power subordinate to civil power. Section 20. Just about every state constitution has a phrase like that, very similar to it, almost exactly. I prove plaque is harmful to humans. Dr. Thomas Levy has evidence that every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth and is the cause of 90% of heart attacks, the vast majority of breast cancers, is a cause of virtually all inflammatory diseases. Years ago, he gives a 1-hour lecture at an international oral health conference. Dr. Levy is a heart surgeon. But you see, Dr. Levy, he really doesn't like having to do this. He'd like to prevent it. And what he finds is oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle. But what does our medical community do about it? The association. What do they do about it? Which association? How many associations we got for medical, Ethan? Oh, well, you see, they divide it. And I'm going to explain to you why. Why I believe this is so. See, back in the early 1900s, a fellow by the name of Weston Price was very concerned about our health and our oral health and how it affects our overall health. My research indicates that he did quite a bit of traveling to other countries, studied other cultures, studied what they ate, and he was very interested in the cultures that had no tooth decay. And now root canals were going on at that time. And one of the things that Dr. Levy was having success at was healing people from debilitating conditions by extracting their toxic teeth. And this really intrigued Weston Price. And if I recall this correctly, he had taken one of these extracted teeth and put it underneath the skin of a rabbit. And that rabbit developed some kind of a disease. I don't know if it was the same disease as the person or the same condition. Maybe disease is wrong. Might have been condition. But regardless, just by putting that toxic tooth underneath the skin of a rabbit, the rabbit had a very bad time. So then he took that tooth out and he put it underneath the skin of another rabbit. And he repeated this process 20 times. Each time the rabbit got the condition or got a condition. It made the rabbit unhealthy. And people that were getting their teeth extracted, I was reading where one person got out of a wheelchair. They were confined to a wheelchair and they got their toxic teeth out and they were out of that wheelchair. So this was known in the community for health back in early 1900s. Now we know today that the root of every tooth has 2 to 6 miles of tubule. And Dr. Thomas Levy teaches us that bacteria can sit 5 side by side for 2 to 6 miles in the root of your tooth. How long does it take you to drive 2 to 6 miles? How long does it take you to walk 2 to 6 miles? 5 bacteria side by side. Now, when you got a nerve in that tooth, a living nerve, a healthy nerve, that tooth has immunity. And the flow is from center out like this. It's keeping those tubules clean. However, when the nerve is dead, there's no immunity in that tooth. And Dr. Levy explains how that bacteria morphs into deadly, toxic bacteria. And Dr. Thomas Levy explains how when you bite down on a toxic tooth and it's a molar, the immense pressure from chewing is more effective than a syringe at delivering those toxins into your lymphatic system. Now, this is I believe what they call it, asymptomatic. You have no pain. There's no pain involved to alert you to the fact that you've got this really toxic environment going on in your mouth that's affecting your body. And so a lot of people end up living a long, slow death rather than a long, healthy life and a quick death. Now, my brother and I are both examples of that. The difference between my younger brother and I is it killed him. It almost killed me. It's killed a lot of people. And the ADA has no proof that a root canal is safe. The ADA is an association. When I approached the ADA, they refused to look at my information. I'm sure they looked at it. But said, since I'm not a dentist, they won't. See, only a dentist can discover great things for your oral health. At least in their world, but not mine. So I started talking to the dentist. Oh my goodness. You would think I was the devil. And that I had 1,000 demons at my side. All of them ready to launch on that dentist just because I said I'm rejuvenating gum tissue and removing and preventing calcified plaques with cannabis. Oh, oh, yeah, 6 years. Not one dentist will come forward because they live in fear, Raj, live in fear of their government. Not one medical provider of any sort, naturalist doctor, doctor of medicine, homeopathic, psychopathic, claropathic. Yeah, I'm kind of just trying to be a little bit colorful. You see, these associations, the American Medical Association and the American Dental Association, are keeping us sick. In all my years going to the doctor, they really don't give much concern over your mouth. In fact, it's pretty much like avoid it. Stick your tongue out and say ah. And they cover your tongue and they shine a light down the back of your throat and they're looking for something back there. Now, more recent times, occasionally you get a doctor who'll feel around. You know what? They're looking for cancer. They're looking for anything they can find. They're not doing anything to prevent you from getting this from your toxic teeth. And I think that's shameful. About 100 years this has been going on. And a great man, a heart surgeon, and a bar attorney. Yeah, Dr. Thomas Levy is a bar attorney. You think a bar attorney could get anywhere? Mm-mm. 15 million toxic teeth going in our mouths here in America every year. Billions of dollars spent on courts, arrest, jail over marijuana related arrest, detentions, incarcerations, court hearings, care in jail and prison on a free man. On a free man. Now, I thought when I showed visual, measurable, repeatable results in the prevention of and removal of calcified oral plaques, in the rejuvenation of gum tissue, which science had given up on, and then spent 1.8 billion taxpayer dollars, and Ethan went to jail. This is really troublesome. You connect the dots all the way back to Weston Price. I I really believe there's Nuremberg issues here. I do. They know, yet they do harm to you every day. On average, 15 million times a year to Americans. My brothers and sisters, my children and my grandchildren. I say, stop it. And by God, we will. Now, Raj, maybe you're busy and you're not available, but you have my number. You reach out to me anytime, Raj. You want to come on live, you're invited and you're welcome. There's one condition. When you're speaking, I'm going to be silent until you say, I yield. Then it's my turn to talk. And you will stay silent, sir, until I say, I yield. Now, you may say, Ethan, I don't work that way. When something's on my mind, I just got to spit it out. Well, Raj, it ain't going to work that way on my platform. You're going to have a little self-control. And I would encourage you to have a pen and paper there where you just write it down. You write down what you need, what you feel you need to respond to. And then when I yield, the floor is yours, sir. Because education is very important, as you pointed out. Now, I believe that I have the most intelligent audience. I do. Raj isn't giving you guys credit. Because one of the last things he said to me was something to the effect of, the people I'm teaching will not be able to stand in it like I do. Well, Raj, I'm just little old me. And I believe that there are people that are much more capable of me, much more capable than me. I do. In different areas, in different ways. And I pray for all of them that they have success in owning their authority, owning their immunity, owning their franchise to liberty and freedom and privacy, and owning their duty to defend their life and their property, and to seek happiness. So, again, I'm really concerned about who's advising Sheriff Dar. Now, I came on live last night and I talked a little bit about Sheriff Mack. I do believe he's a gatekeeper. Now, when I first learned about Sheriff Mack, I was very impressed with him. And as I was going through my learning process, I wanted to reach out to him, and I did. Now, fortunately, the man didn't answer me. Now, that might be part of the plan. But you see, when they set people up like that to be gatekeepers, to be interceptors, there's a reason for it. And I do believe that Sheriff Mack is a gatekeeper because he's been at this 20 years and his knowledge is low and his advice is poor. Based on what I've heard, from others and from Sheriff Mack himself. Got a dry spot in my throat. All right. Jeez. So I needed to come in, apologize for any misunderstandings that I have created, and to be responsible, and to remind all of you, trust no man. Do not trust me. Trust God. Do your research, study, own your authority. Create a notice of liability. Take it into your sheriff's office, have a little talk with him. Educate your sheriff. God bless you all. I love you. Talk to you soon.